Silvermoon is realistically one of the coolest looking cities that we have in the game, yet it has literally been stuck in time for essentially 15 years, with half of the city still laying in ruins after the Scourge invasion, even though the Scourge is pretty much defeated. As you might have seen in Legion, with Suramar, what Blizzard is capable of, there is really not an excuse, as realistically, Silvermoon should be bigger and more powerful than Suramar, although in the game the difference is drastic. Well, with Dragonflight, we have datamined new Blood Elven ships and a bunch of Blood Elven assets, which really gives us a strong indication what an updated version of the city would look like. Furthermore, in 9.2.5, there was a questline where the Scourge once attacked Quel'Thalas, which could be an indication that they're finally cleaning up the remnants of what remains of the Scourge. So, how realistic is it for Silvermoon to finally be updated, and what would a restructured city look like? So, before we get into this video, I'd like to show you guys something super cool, and that is the sponsor of this video, the Ridge Wallet. Now, they've sent this to me years ago, and it's literally the only wallet I've used. I'm not gonna bore you guys too much. It is just sleek, elegant. You can fit up to 12 cards here. You can put cash on the side, and there is really not that much to it. Recently, they also released key cases, so you can check that out as well. Now, make sure to use my link in the description and code Doron, and you can get 10% off. So, the bulk of the information from this video comes from actual assets we have datamined from the Dragonflight beta and that we have seen on the Dragon Isles in the beta. It isn't really just my wishful thinking about how old zones should get updates, because they should. We got a couple dozen of Blood Elven assets, although realistically, let's be real, it is highly unlikely that we will get a completely brand new Silvermoon as soon as Dragonflight is out. Blizzard pretty much confirmed that there won't be any major world revamps happening throughout this expansion, and Silvermoon is hardly relevant outside of Lortimar being a key character at this point, so there really isn't anything that would warrant them just building a brand new city on a completely other side of the world while we are focused on the Dragon Isles. However, this has never really been the topic. A lot of us speculated that it is likely that it could be a partial trigger in Dragonflight, and later on, the process could be finished once Silvermoon is relevant. Most of the assets that we have actually datamined are not major architectural models such as towers, giant buildings that indicate a huge revamp or anything of the sort. It is generally what you would find in the interior buildings, or there would be smaller objects that would be around Blood Elven zones. We have tents, caravans, a bunch of books, bookcases, shelves, a whole bunch of other objects you would find inside the building, and I gotta say, these models just look so amazing. When you compare them with what is currently available with the Blood Elves, it is just a night and day drastic difference. Interestingly enough, there are also brand new Blood Elven ships which look amazing as well, with horde flags, and when you combine all of it, it is not hard to connect two and two together and see that these are parts of the setup for the Dragon Isle expedition and the outposts. However, seeing that they're building a bunch of new models and assets, is it possible that this could also be a partial revamp of Silvermoon literally as soon as 10.0, or maybe even the pre-patch? This totally would not be something outlandish or something Blizzard couldn't do or they wouldn't be known to do. I mean, for example, we know that 100% we won't be getting any major revamps of Stormwind and Orgrimmar and Dragonflight, but they're still moving some assets around, adding new ones, changing up the cities, at least slightly. I can't really see why Silvermoon couldn't be a part of this as well. Let's be real, Silvermoon is really stuck in time, and when I say really, I mean really stuck in time. Even today, the zone looks actually pretty great, and back then it was amazing, and it has a really unique style. You really feel like you're in a highly advanced elven magical civilization, but at the same time, the fact that this was built in like 2007 is starting to get obvious. Furthermore, a lot of things changed, like seriously an insane amount of things since the Burning Crusade. We had a Blood Elf stopping the abuse of the Naru, we completely defeated the Legion, and most importantly, in 9.2.5, we actually had relevant questlines that could indicate that they're planning to do something with this zone. If you maybe remember, there was literally a Scourge invasion that happened after the end of Shadowlands, where a faction started posing a serious threat in the Ghostlands, and we had to go all the way inside the Shadowlands to figure out how to get rid of one of their warlords, as this guy just kept respawning. Now, the thing is, Silvermoon and the entire surrounding area is mostly stuck in the time of the Burning Crusade. Since that point, we literally defeated the Lich King and almost destroyed the Scourge. Then they have been slowly deteriorating over the course of like a decade. Then there have been a bunch of Argent Crusade efforts to weaken them. Then, around the time of Shadowlands, the Jailer took direct control over the Scourge and he threw them at us, where we further weakened them. And most recently, we once again defeated their invasion in Quel'Thalas, which in my opinion was like their last ditch effort to do something. So the point is that at this point the Scourge should be close to non-existent, especially around Silvermoon, and that massive ruined part of the city should seriously just be rebuilt at this point. This is literally started to get worse than normal. God, there is no reason that the Death Scar should be a complete ruin and that like half of the city should be missing. Additionally, there has been a lot of things happening with Fel Magic, Burning Legion, Quel'Thalas, and all this stuff, so these changes could also be reflected in the game. Now, the unfortunate part of this news is that I'm not really sure how much of a partial revamp is actually possible, because seriously, when you put some of these models in like a side-by-side comparisons, sometimes the changes are quite drastic. The most recent Dragonflight models definitely have a really sharper and a lot more detailed texture, and they're just overall better looking, so it could kinda totally look out of place. In some cases, it would be like adding brand new models to like PlayStation 2 graphics. The only way I could see it working is maybe using specific parts of like the interior assets, as there wouldn't be really such a stark contrast. However, this might also be good news, as it could mean that Blizzard might be forced to actually completely restructure the city, and this would be in line with what is needed, as there is literally like half of the city that remains in ruins and that is still broken. In my opinion, at this point, the Death Scar should be completely cleaned up, the towers raised again, and the left side could also be completely restructured. Furthermore, in my opinion, I think they should just redo the entire thing from scratch in order to expand the grounds a lot more, as do you guys remember Silvermoon and Legion and what this city looked like? It was just crazy. Now, realistically, lore-wise, Silvermoon should actually be bigger, as the High Elven Kingdom was really advanced and prosperous for thousands and thousands of years, so the city was really powerful. So I could totally see Silvermoon being like twice the size of what it currently is. Now, obviously, I'm not actually thinking Blizzard is going to build Suramar 2.0 twice the size in a completely relevant zone just so that they can be consistent with the lore for us that really care about it. However, as I said, these could actually be the first steps. With the fact that Gilneas could be returning, Undercity being relevant, some talks about the Scarlet Crusade, Aurelian, Light, it is possible that something could be happening exactly in this northern part of the Eastern Kingdoms. In my opinion, this area is more relevant than any other right now outside of the Dragon Isles, maybe a bit of Northrend. So if the expansion afterwards is focused on this, then it could totally be possible. These new Blood Elven models may currently be used only on the Dragon Isles as part of the outposts, but this could also be a start of something that is going to happen afterwards. A complete revamp of a major city is a lot of work, but if they already built a bunch of assets, this is going to be easier for them to maneuver later on when they actually start working on it. However, let's be real, getting any major city that looks like Suramar would just be a whole game changer and will make the game a lot more interesting. So that you feel like you're actually in a major city and not just like a place with a dozen building that lore-wise should have like 1 million citizens. Thank you for watching. Check out the Night Elven Shaman's comic by clicking on the screen, and check out Doran's Academy for videos on real-world history. See you next time.